What's up, guys? It's because I from the video, and I haven't posted in a long time, but I think it's time for me to express my thoughts and feelings. So, love, social media, living. You know, I'm somebody who has had three girlfriends, admittedly speaking, and there's some points in my life where I get really happy, I get really sad, and no, I'm not acting performative at all. I'm being genuinely serious right now. I'm being genuine right now. I'm making this video as a message and as a way for me to simply vent my feelings. I don't know how long this is gonna be, but it's for sure gonna be more than 10 minutes. So hopefully you can understand, and watch this whole thing through. So I have broken up with my girlfriend Monique. Um, I'm gonna get real with you. It hurts. You know, it really hurts. And the unfortunate truth is, I'm still 14 years old. I'm 14 years old. I'm still going through life, and I may not know what happens next. I may get a girlfriend. I might be single. Who knows? And that's one thing that I always got scared about in the future. What is gonna happen when I get older? What is really gonna happen when I get older? Am I really gonna be in love, or am I gonna be a homeless loser with no family? And one of the main things that social media has done to me that I would say is a bad thing is not just me, but people in general, is really enforce this idea that love no longer exists, that love isn't worth it no more, that dating isn't worth it no more, that dating is this and that, this and that, this and that. But watching all of that, it kind of makes me hopeless. Well, not anymore, but it kind of makes me feel hopeless for the society that we live in nowadays, And it makes me question, would this world really be better without it? Because social media, it can affect you a lot. When you think about, just in general, when you think about, I don't know, being yourself, social media doesn't really allow you to do that. But when you start to get so consumed by social media, you're not really yourself. You're performing, and unfortunately, that is what a lot of people do in our society nowadays, especially teenagers. Teenagers, the reason why teenagers perform is to hide their pain, and it's true, because I do it myself. I'm really speaking. I'm really speaking. The breakup between me and Monique hurt me more than it should have. Um, I know that she doesn't want me to keep going over it, but in general, when you break with somebody that no longer cares for you, you have to put up an act to say oh, well, I don't really care about it, right? Yeah, you have to put up this fake act to say oh, I don't care as well, even though deep down you really do. Because with the way I am, and when I get into a relationship, I want to make it last. I do. I really do. With my two previous relationships, with this girl Zura and another girl Amani, two of my exes essentially, it really hurt when I lost them. And it's really confusing because we never even lasted that long. But the reason why it hurt so much is because honestly, I just expected too much out of it. And now, even when I to about adults, they didn't know what to say, or they didn't know what to say. And that also reflects society as a whole too. Social media can also destroy your critical thinking too, the ability to think for yourself, and the ability where you don't have to rely on others' opinions for validation or for understanding a certain topic. Do your own research, do your own studies and stuff. We don't have no more as a society, and that's why social media is it's such a negative. Being real, social media isn't really a bad thing or a good thing. It's more on the neutral side, because one thing, it allows people to be the most honest they can be. If they go through a certain, if they Sorry. Um, if they are to explain a certain topic or talk about like relationships and stuff in life, they're gonna get really honest. And this also goes for gender as well. Women and men, the hating women trying the red pill, the black pill, the purple pill, misogyny, homophobia, transphobia, racism. It's all just a joke on social media. Because also another part of social media that makes me like it is the fact that nothing is taken seriously, which is again another way of coping. Because the thing about life and the thing about love is that love hurts. It does. Love is a really complex emotion. It's one of the hardest emotions. It's one of the more complex emotions that you really experience both as a teenager and as an adult. And when I got with Monique, it being honest, I compared our relationship to my past one, with how much I think I fucked up, you know, because the thing about me is that when I do something that no one that no that even if it's not that big of a deal, it can still really affect me in the way I think. And the reason why I don't really express this is because honestly, I don't feel truly seen. Like I'm gonna get really really honest. I don't really feel like I'm truly seen even when I express myself in the way I could, because in school, no one cares. It's all just work, 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 work. Be happy, be positive, never stop smiling. It's almost as if they're enforcing toxic positivity, and I hate it because listen, I'm a kind person. Okay, I wouldn't say that I'm someone who's mean, someone who is horrible, but I wouldn't say that I'm a nice guy either. Because I'm not perfect. I'm very flawed. I always obviously have a lot of issues within ourselves that we deal with. But you know, teenagers are not really teens anymore. And we're all just young adults. And to be honest, I'm trying to say, when Miss Perez, my math teacher, said that, no, not my math teacher, what the fuck, my English teacher, when she said that, it kind of felt dehumanizing in a way. And the reason why I say dehumanizing is because when you refer to teenagers as young adults, it goes to show how much the world has changed. Teenagers are no longer, being a kid is no longer about is no longer about having fun, having enjoyment of your life. It's about looking for a job. It's about looking for what you can do to make your life better. Because apparently money fixes all your mental issues. It doesn't. Newsflash. Newsflash. It doesn't. It doesn't at all. And so in general, man, I just think that social media has really fucked up the way we see the world. It really has, man. And also on our view on religion too, because like me and Monique, we were going strong for like a solid 5 weeks, 5 to 6 weeks. You know what I'm trying to say? And I ended up making too many mistakes that caused her to simply lose care for me. And to be fair, I can't be mad at her forever. Like when you do a lot of mistakes, you can't really change the way someone feels. Going outside of outside of me and her. When you mess up a lot, you're going to cause the person to lose care for you. And like Monique was a girl I could be myself with, where I could be my true authentic self, the person who yaps a lot, who goes into that and who goes really in depth into things that they like, and explains topics in a way that no one else will really do it right. I lost all of that, and it hurts. It does, but even then, I still don't know what true hurt feels like, because true pain is expressed by going through a multitude of emotions. Like when you lose your girlfriend, of course it's not gonna be easy to just move on from it easily, because it's gonna take a long time to move on, right? But for them, it may be easier, or they might just be coping already by doing jokes, by playing along, by doing just a bunch of bullshit, saying that you're overreacting for feeling, that you're overreacting for feeling emotions that are valid. And one thing I never did, which I should have done, was take care of myself. Self-love is one of the strongest weapons that no one has ever utilized or even used. It's a very hard thing to do, and the reason why self-love is hard to do is because no one cares. but no one cares. But like just because no one cares doesn't mean that you should not care about yourself. You know what I'm trying to say? And when you let social media take over your life and you let all these negative thoughts that they can just destroy you, it can really fucking it's really sad to see that happen to somebody because I went through a lot in life. I'm pretty sure I talked about it before, but I saw my parents get into fights. I exposed myself to a lot of content at a very young age, and it caused me to have a very, you know, mature view on relationships. It did. Um, and to be honest, I kind of hate it. You know, I mean, no, I don't hate it. I mean, at least I'm innocent. But man, like, yeah, social media, like, it just really fucked up the world that we live in nowadays, man. It really did. Everyone is feeding off of insecurities, finding new ways to invent insecurities, and then they try to make the person feel better by saying, "Oh, you look, but but I like it," you know, and that's what I do, you know, with the way I am, you know, when Monique said that she was ugly, or when she said that she was like chopped, I I instinctively felt the need to like say, "No, you're not," because being real and I'm being really honest with her, by the way, I never thought that she was ugly at all. I just thought that she was one of the more prettier girls in the school, to be honest with you. Especially with her whole alternative aspect as well, which I found really attractive, and the fact that she allowed me to be the submissive one in a relationship. Now, that is a whole other discussion. Um, and yes, I am very much into power dynamics. I have always been into it. I most likely into it because I watched a lot of feminine porn. Sorry for being so bold and blunt, but I had to because I mean this is me expressing myself. So yeah, and when it comes down to just love in general, love is not supposed to be easy. You know, when you go with someone, when you love is not about loving a person to your heart's content. It's not about the best moments. It's about being there when someone is at their worst. And the unfortunate truth is that they're not gonna care. They're not gonna care much about you. You know, and people are gonna say, but how is that love? Because the truth is, there is no definition for real. There's really no absolute definition for love. It's extremely complex because humans are complex. I mean, in general, humans are complex. We're not one-dimensional beings that you know think one way. We think constantly about different things. And that's also called overstimulation, which can also be a detriment to your mental health because sometimes your brain needs to relax. You and myself, I need to relax sometimes, And we often go on social media because social media is a way to escape from Earth. It's a way to escape from the world to escape from life, which is already so harsh and cruel, filled with assholes and stuff. And I honestly can understand why some people think love doesn't exist. Because if love were to truly exist, then why do psychopaths, why do sociopaths, why do abusers, why do manipulators, why do narcissists, why do cheaters exist? Why do these six people exist, right? And the reason why is because humans are humans. Human nature is one of the most profoundly interesting, is one of the most fascinating things I have ever found. It really is. Understanding how people act, understanding why they do what they do, is just so interesting because it pretty much forces you to open up about who you truly are. And for me, I love that. I love being myself because it allows me to show people around me who I really am. Like I don't have to hide behind this persona. I don't have to always be the energetic guy. It's like in school, I mostly put on this mask where like I'm super energetic and like I'm super joyful. But then as I show my true cracks, people say like, "Oh, why are you so angry? Why are you so serious?" And it really hurts because it shows that they don't understand me. And I don't mean to sound like a victim here, but not everyone has to understand me. Okay, I understand that, but the truth is, even then, it still hurts. It still hurts being said like, "Oh, you're too serious all the time. You're too angry." I'm not angry. You know, I'm not angry. I never said I was angry. And one thing that Monique said that really contrasted deeply with what I said is when she said, "If you love me, then you wouldn't have yelled at me." And that was and at that moment, that was where my conviction started to rise about whether I was if I was even fit for a relationship or not. Because the truth is, even if you are a good person, even people who are good are not ready for relationships. And one thing that shows this perfectly is Finn from Adventure Time. Now I watched a video from a channel called Lessons VS or something. And Finn himself, he was a great person. He saved the world. You know, from Adventure Time, you know, a cartoon. He saved the world from
Don't
threat.
turn the oven off. I have another piece of meat in there. Okay.
He saved the world and stuff, and he also, you know, had a crush on Flame Princess, right? But when he got together with Flame Princess, his true cracks would show. Love can really show who you truly are as a person, and that hurts because it shows that you know what, maybe I'm not really a good person, but even in the face of negativity and oppression, you still gotta find ways to fight back, right? Because there needs to be a balance. You have good, you have bad. Every human has a good side and a bad side to them, and that's just how it is. You know, people who are good are still flawed. People who are bad are still have things in them that people would consider nice. You know, and this is why I just love flawed so much. You know, I just really love talking about things that most people would not consider right, and that also goes to show the lack of critical thinking in society. Now, I'm not gonna sit here and say that, you know, everything needs to be serious, because like there are some things that are not that serious. However, I don't like it when people try to dismiss my opinion because they think I'm being too in depth, even though that's just how I function. You know, like if I were to say, oh, Naruto Shippuden is a good show, right? But the question arises: why is Naruto Shippuden a good show, or why is anything good? You know, why is always the best response to anything? You know, why do you think something? Why do you think something is the way it is? Why do you think Why do you think I am the way I am? Why do I think you're the way you are? You know what I'm trying to say? And these questions really resonate with me because I'm a very deep thinker. You know, I may not be the smartest person of all time, but when I think, I really think. You know, especially when it comes to things I really love, video games. I go in depth with gameplay mechanics, story, character designs, combat designs, boss designs, character designs, RPG mechanics. This is just a bunch of things that most people would have just even a hard time even getting a basic understanding of. But for me, you know, it's not that bad because I like it. You know, and being yourself is definitely key to, you know, getting into it with a girl, because every girl is different. You know, not every girl is gonna be into you, and not every girl, and you're not gonna be into every girl you meet. And the hard part is rejection. Rejection, and as someone who is nice, you know, I am very nice and very kind. In school, we often tend to be chaotic because that's how we act. That's how we perform. You know, and when we are chaotic, it allows us to express who we truly are. Well, not who we truly are, but like it allows us to, like, you know, let the thoughts go away. Just have fun. But when I'm with my friends, I'm gonna take into consideration that I don't always have to act like, you know, that super energetic Carlos, the super weird Carlos, you know. And being weird is cool, right? Being weird is a thing that I have, you know. And I like being weird because that's also a part of who I am, you know. But I'm also a very considerate person too. I take people into consideration even when they don't want to. I always check up on my friends, my family, you know, and even Monique, you know, because deep down I still have, you know, I still miss it. I still miss everything that we had together, you know, and it just sucks that it all ended so abruptly. And how she went so fast, and now she doesn't even care about me anymore, and it just, yeah. Now, to be fair, I wasn't the best boyfriend. I made a lot of mistakes, but I'm not really gonna get that because I don't want to. Um, but in general, I really like having these deep talks again because it allows me to simply just express myself. The reason why I don't really use TikTok that much. I use TikTok if I want to get off like a quick explanation, right? But sometimes 10 minutes is not enough for 10 minutes is not enough for me to explain like all my thoughts and all my feelings and emotions. So that's why like I'm posting this right here, because it allows you to express everything without a limit. So and it was back to the point. Yeah, love hurts, it does, but even in that, never give up. You see, I've always had a motto, right? And that motto was to simply just don't give up. Even in the face of hard times, even in the worst moments of your life, giving up it should be the last it should be the last resort. Because in my entire life, I'm saying I have always I honestly I'm gonna be real true. I've always considered giving up. Like when I got to Maxwell and this cloud and was getting to a certain point, I always felt like giving up will be the best option because if I kept trying to push through, what would I earn from it? You know what I'm trying to say? And my friends, they're never, I'm gonna give you my friends are not the same ones I had to have from other school. They aren't. And that's because, it still has been just overall, it still has been months, it hasn't been years. And, that new process, meeting new friends, it can definitely get exhausting, man. It definitely can, but that's how you build connections, The ones that take a long time to build are the ones that are usually gonna last the longest. Because the friends that I made a lot of new friends, I made Elliot, I met Elliot, Isaiah, DeAndre, Karuna, Dante, Dante, Bullock, this is Bullock, Dante Bullock and Dante Bullock and Dante Bullock and Dante O, Natalie, Carmen, Monty, who was that one girl? Forgot her name, but she was in my other class. You know what I'm saying? I met Emery, Aaliyah, Anaya, Taquasia, Imani, um, Sincere, Shaheem, Nicholas, Malik, Monique, and it's really crazy how I met that many kids in just a short amount of time. Richie, Jadalyn, Sarah, Juanija. I met a lot of people in high school. A lot, just Joshua, yeah, Joshua, Quinton, and it's definitely something. Meeting all those new people, it's definitely something. It's both exciting and good. It's both exciting and also very nerve wracking too, because I just simply love having new friends, man. I mean, ever since I got those friends, I was able to break out of my shell of being really antisocial. I was really antisocial. I just didn't like talking about people. I just did not like talking to people that I did not find interesting at all. You know. And among consider I'm very interesting too. All I really do is play video games, watch anime, watch video essays, think about things constantly, I want to get into art, and just talk. So I just like to talk. That's it. I like talking. Yeah, talking is fun. So talking about things you like, I like. It's just fun, right? And that's why that's why I've always tried my hardest to not let social media destroy me, because social media admittedly has destroyed a lot of people's lives, and it's really unfortunate. And I don't want that to happen to myself. And one thing I also really noticed is that I talk a lot. 24 minutes have already passed, and it's about to be 25 minutes. So, that doesn't mean you're really a boring person, right? But it's because the talks that you have with yourself are always just the best, because you're talking to yourself, and talking to yourself, it just feels good, because you're in a place where nobody can judge you, where nobody can hate on you, where nobody is going to interrupt you, where no one's going to laugh at you, because you take yourself serious, but no one else does. The only friend I would consider that actually takes me very seriously is Nicholas and Quentin, and that's mostly it. Because all the other kids around school, they think everything's a joke, and I understand why. You know, the school is miserable. It sucks, and we cope by joking and making the most retarded memes of all time. I apologize for my R word. It's pretty much ingrained in my vocabulary. Anyways, yeah. I just think in general, you know, love, it still exists. You just have to find it. And even in the face of a world, you know, in a world where insecurities are being every time, you know, we just find new ways to hate, where we live in a place where no one is happy. Be the person who breaks that cycle. You know, try. Don't give up. Just try. And even for me, you know, even though my heart still kind of aches from missing Monique, I have to understand that I have to move on, and I have to let her live her life. I can still check in on her, you know, I can still be kind to her, but you know that doesn't mean that I have to be her boyfriend. You know what I'm trying to say? It doesn't mean to be a boyfriend. I can simply just be her brother. You know, brother from another mother, basically. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. In general, I mean, I think I'm more to say, yeah. And you know, just don't let social media control your life, man. You know, because I've seen, I mean, even myself, you know, I've let social media control my life. Maybe made me think that I was ugly. I thought that I was chopped, that I was a really good girlfriend. But the fact that I was able to get Monique, Azura, and Amani, even though now that you know, saying most of them don't like me, don't like me anymore, it shows me that I'm not hopeless, and I could still find girls. I just have to make sure that I just don't mess up again. You know, fix yourself first before going with a girl that doesn't know who you are. And communication is really key. She said me now. Sorry guys. Really key. And just try your best. You know, I may not have the best advice. I may not be the best person to talk to about this, but I'm always there for you, and I'm always your therapist, even if you got other people. You know what I'm saying? I think that I really am an empathetic person. That's really renowned is considering how many people are just so mean and stuff. I'm the person who's always kind. You know, even though I may act a little bit serious and joke around a lot, I still care a lot. Anyways, that's all I'll say for now, guys. Thank you so much for watching my video, and I'll see you next time. Peace out. Smile for y'all.